Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace be upon everyone, and welcome again to the second segment of the program, Never Too Late to Learn. And today we have a very special guest. He's been with us before, Brother Hasmud Ali, and he is a student of the Quran, and he's been a student of science and mathematics almost all his life. He's been tutoring now as well, and he's been also linking and helping us link Quran and science. And today we are going to quiz him and ask him because there are a lot of people coming in at healing centers, crisis centers, and asking, how do I feel Allah's mercy and how do I feel hopeful in these times? How do I feel Allah's mercy in my life? So we'd like to welcome Brother Hassan Ali. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you very much for having me once again on the program.
It's always a pleasure. Are you going to help us today find out how do we feel Allah's mercy and hope, inshallah?
All right. So last time we showed you some vegetables, pepper, if you remember, and tomato. This time we will show you this. What do you think this is?
Pomegranate.
Pomegranate, yes. And unfortunately, it's not cut yet, but it is very tasty once again here. And I'm sure everywhere. And as people know, this is a special fruit mentioned in the Quran as well, and mentioned lots of time by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as a reference to Jannah, as a reference to many things. So there are even predictions about Yawm al-Qiyamah with reference to the pomegranate. Today we will use the pomegranate to understand a little bit about the mercy of Allah. So this pomegranate, as we can see, it has the skin. And this skin is all around what we have inside, thousands of seeds, so many seeds. And as we know, each seed is a blessed uh, being that can turn itself into a tree. So now what does this pomegranate have to do with mercy? So last time we were speaking about Surah Toha. So today, inshallah, we continue share about Surah Toha again. And just a piece of a verse again. As we said, the Quran is so vast. We can take just one word and write a whole thesis about it. So here we will investigate just a word here in different angles, how it is placed in the Quran. Wasiya. Wasiya referring to Allah's name Wasi. Wasi, which means can be expressed as expansion, expansive in the adjective. And in the past, we have shared about the expansion of the universe. But here we will look at it in another context of us. How is this affecting us every day? So we have this part of a verse. This is not the whole verse. This is just the end of the verse. Surah Taha, verse 98. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. We always seek refuge in Allah from the negativity, from Satan. And the Quran itself is telling us when we start reciting it, we should seek refuge in Allah who is Samiul Alim. So we seek refuge first and we start with the mercy of Allah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allah is saying, Wasiya kulla shay'in alima. Wasiya kulla shay'in alima. Every word here, as I said, as we are sharing, we can write a thesis about it. This wasiya is encompassing, can be expressed here, is translated by Murshid Chaitanya Vargonen Ansari as encompassing. Kulla refers to everything, all, kulli. And again, this we can write so much about this. And then shay, which also refers to things. And then alima, the knowledge. Ilm is being translated as knowledge and science. And here we see that both work together. Wherever we see knowledge, wherever we say science, it is one and the same thing. So now, what does this have to do with mercy? So now we will go to we will share a diagram to try to picture this. So now imagine that we have, this is a body, okay? Anything, maybe a car, maybe a human being, maybe a plant, maybe the planet Earth, maybe the whole universe, everything. It can be, this represents anything. And then we are saying, what is this verse saying? His knowledge encompasses everything. So in a way that we can visualize this, we can take a circle and put around. And this is one way that we can understand this knowledge and science encompass this. And if we think about it, I'm just verifying if it's appearing well on the screen. All right, yes. So now, but when we think of knowledge, we think of what we learn in books, what we learn, and we say science, we think of chemistry, physics, and then this picture may not make sense. But actually everything has a knowledge about it. A human body, the knowledge we saw it earlier when we did Ikra, is there is biology. If we look at chemicals, the knowledge is chemistry. So we see it actually encompass. But now in picture, for very simple understanding, we can refer to this pomegranate, how the skin encompass all these seeds. All right. Now we are not done. Now let's go back to the Quran and see another verse. What is Allah saying? Now if we look at this verse, again in the Quran, Surah Al-Araf 156, again we see the word encompass there. In the Arabic again, wasiyat. So the verse is saying, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa rahmati wasiyat kulla shay. My mercy encompasses all things. And here the picture itself can help us have an idea, visualize how Allah's mercy encompasses everything. When it snows, you cannot recognize anything. You look at a city which is even so usually polluted, dirty. When it snows, this snow goes everywhere, covers everything. You can't recognize a car. You cannot recognize a tree. Everything just becomes white. Everything looks so clean and pure. The same way Allah's mercy encompasses everything. But the whole point is, how do we connect to this mercy, which we will get to. So now we have two verses. Are they contradicting each other? One place Allah is saying, He encompasses everything in His knowledge and science. And then here He's saying, my mercy encompasses all things. Now we will use a bit of this diagram again, which we were showing. And we will use a bit of maths to link up these two things. So if we say this green circle represents the knowledge and science, it is encompassing everything. And then we will use another color. What color do you like?
We can try blue.
Let us try blue. Yes, this makes us think of the ocean, which is another way we can visualize Allah's mercy. For people who have been in the ocean, you see how the ocean encompasses everything. So if we use blue, and we will use this circle, this blue circle, because if we say that the mercy encompasses everything, then it means the things that are encompassed by the knowledge is also encompassed by the mercy. So bear with me, don't get confused. Now in maths, we have this equation that we use. We say if we have a set A and we have a set B, okay? So maybe I will write B in green. So B will represent the knowledge and the science, and A will represent the mercy, rahmah. We will put an A, mercy. Now, what do we see? We see that the set A, which is the mercy, because it is inside the knowledge and science, because remember the knowledge and science encompass everything, so it means it encompasses the mercy as well. All right. So it means in maths we use this symbol which looks like a C to say that A is inside B. Now this drawing is not showing this drawing is showing the other way. It is showing that B, which is the knowledge and science, is inside A. So this is just the bit of technical that we are writing, and also for those who are seeking further, who are mathematicians, who study, so they can link up. Now, when we have these two equations in maths, then we can conclude that A is equal B. Now, what is this? Why is so much technical? If we go back in simple language, if we go back to this drawing, if we are saying the mercy encompass everything, so it encompasses knowledge and science as well. And if we say knowledge and science encompass everything, it means the knowledge and science encompass the mercy as well. But what do we can conclude? There cannot be two things that encompass everything. There can only be one thing. And what is this one thing? This is Allah Himself. Because if we go back to the verse now, if we look at the verse, my mercy encompasses all things. So what is mercy? Is it this not an attribute of Allah? Rahmati, Rahman and Rahim. And if we go to this verse, we have Alim. What is ilma? Kulla shayin ilma. Ilma is the knowledge of Allah. Another attribute of Allah, Alim. And here also we can involve Hakim, because Quran itself shows how Alim and Hakim go together. So here again, we have a picture of the universe and galaxy, which can help us visualize that there is not only the knowledge that we see on paper, there is not only the knowledge, science that we study in books, because Allah's mercy can surpass all this. And again, the Quran itself, in Surah Taha itself, verse 110, Allah is saying, He knows what is ahead of them. He knows what is ahead of them and what is behind them. But they cannot encompass all this in knowledge or science. Here there is a they. Who are they? This is referring to people. This is referring to human beings. So this here Allah is showing us clearly that however much science, however much we will study, we will never be able to understand the whole vastness of Allah, because Allah is wasi. Allah Himself is the wasi. It is not just when we say encompass, that encompassing also is Allah, that rahmah, that mercy is also Allah, and is studying this, how it is encompassing this knowledge and science is also Allah. So how can we find hope in this? How can we find mercy in this? Is just connect. Because if this body that we draw represent us, Allah is all around us. Do we have to go far away? Allah is saying in the Quran itself, we discussed this earlier, closer than jugular vein. So here we saw in a representative way how Allah is so close to us. Every atom of our body, every thinking of ourself. When we are thinking, what is this? This is a knowledge process. Instead of going in just the knowledge where we decide right or wrong, we are deciding, does this make sense or not? Yes, we should. Quran is telling us go after sense, but also we must always factor in the mercy. We should not just look at, oh, why is so many wrong happening around us? If mercy encompasses everything, it means every wrong that we think we are seeing with our limited knowledge, as this verse is saying, but they cannot encompass all this in their knowledge, meaning the knowledge of the human being, the ilme insan. The knowledge of insan is always going to be limited, because Allah's mercy will always encompass. And finally, another verse that comes from another surah that we will add to this, in Al-Talaq, verse 12, Allah is saying, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Allah, it is He who has created the seven heavens and of the earth the like of them. Among them descends the commandment, so that you may know that Allah is able to do all things. Allah is able to do all things. And again is being repeated, and that Allah encompasses all things in knowledge and science. So for today, these verses, we would like to leave viewers to think about it, but don't just think, oh, this is such a technical talk, I cannot refer to, he's a scientist, he's giving maths formula. No, think of this pomegranate, think of a simple apple, think of anything that you eat. Where do you get the taste? The taste comes from the food. When you sip your tea, when you sip your coffee, all these things, where is the taste? It's embedded inside. And the same way, this final verse that we will share today, which concludes what we are saying, how close Allah is with us. Again, the word wasiya, wasiya kursi yuhus samawati wal ard. Allah this time is saying his kursi encompass the universes and the earth. So where is Allah? If our belief, our iman, we always say Allah is sitting on the kursi, here he is saying the kursi encompass everything. So where is he sitting? Where is this throne? This throne is just a word that is used for us to have an understanding of someone who is sitting, like maybe you are sitting somewhere now and you are listening to this. But Allah is not simple like this to be sitting down. Allah is so vast. Allah is wasi. His mercy is sitting on everything, as we have just seen in this picture of snow. When this snow goes everywhere, we can see it. When it rains, we don't see the water just runs and go. We don't get to appreciate. So we have to thank Allah because through snow, we get to see how this water can accumulate. And of course, the snow can cause problem, can cause damage too. But why should we focus on the problem? This same water, when it accumulates, is what we drink, is what brings life to so many beings, to the trees, to everything. So with that, we would like to leave you as to contemplate on these verses and bring them together. And as we say, every program that we are sharing always add up together. So please watch the previous program so that you can see that we are not just hanging on a planet Earth in the space like this. Allah is very close to us. He's right here. He's encompassing this earth, this human being, the hospital, the school, the plants. Think of anything you want, you will see Allah is there.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah, that's really, really good, Brother Hassan Ali. Thank you. So, just to paraphrase and to give my understanding, viewers, what I understood from this is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy is all the time available. It's right there, it's here, it's literally a thought away, a feeling away. So if we want to tap into Allah's mercy and Allah's and the hope, then we should just think about it, feel it, and it's there because it's already there. And I think many a times, even I'll just give an example of something that's lost. I lost my key, and I'm looking for it. If I don't know that it exists, right, I won't be wanting to find it. So in a sense, what I'm saying, I hope this is making sense, but what I'm saying is that if I don't know that Allah's mercy encompasses everything, how am I going to experience Allah's mercy? Because in my mind, mercy is somewhere else. So here Brother Hassan Ali has made it very clear, taking signs, looking at the verses from the Quran and telling us, hey, what? Allah's mercy is right here. It's a thought away, it's a feeling away. So, inshallah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring this understanding, to allow us to be able to connect to His mercy every moment in our lives. With that, until next week, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.